Gaza plan. Europe pushes for Ukraine role in Trump-Putin talks. And Tesla zooms into national capital New Delhi's second showroom in India to open this afternoon. A top focus this Monday morning on World 24/7 viewers. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said his plan to take over Gaza City is the fastest way to end the war. Now, speaking to reporters, Netanyahu accused Hamas of refusing to lay down arms and insisted, in fact, that Israel must, quote-unquote, finish the job. Now, he says Israeli forces now control about 70 to 75% of Gaza, with two remaining Hamas strongholds in Gaza City and the central camps. Netanyahu defended the plan despite international criticism, promising safe zones for civilians with food, water, and medical care. He stressed Israel has allowed nearly 2 million tons of aid into Gaza, denying any policy of starvation whatsoever. Meanwhile, at the UN Security Council, the US defended Israel's right to security and rejected genocide claims. Other members, meanwhile, voiced concerns over the worsening humanitarian crisis, with UN officials warning Gaza is facing starvation and catastrophic conditions. This report brings you more, but first, let's listen in to the latest from the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Last Thursday, Israel's Security Cabinet, instructed the IDF to dismantle the two remaining Hamas strongholds in Gaza City and the central camps. Contrary to false claims, this is the best way to end the war and the best way to end it speedily. Our goal is not to occupy Gaza. Our goal is to free Gaza, free it from Hamas terrorists. The war can end tomorrow if Gaza, or rather if Hamas, lays down its arms and releases all the remaining hostages.
Tens of thousands have flooded the streets across Israel, outraged by the government's latest push to expand its military campaign in Gaza. The unrest comes just after Israel's Security Cabinet greenlit a full-scale ground offensive aimed at retaking Gaza City, once the heart of the enclave, now reduced to ruins after nearly 2 years of war. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is facing mounting pressure both at home and on the global stage. But despite the fierce backlash, he's standing firm, insisting the operation is vital to rescuing the 50 Israeli hostages still held in Gaza. But in a painful twist of irony, families of those very hostages are now among the loudest voices of dissent. They fear the offensive could doom their loved ones instead of saving them.
Now the government has decided to expand the war and push deeper into Gaza. But my husband is still there. Every invasion, every bullet, every airstrike could cost him his life. This isn't just a military decision. It could be a death sentence for the people we love most. I'm terrified. I'm angry. I won't stay silent.
The outrage has gone global. In London, Istanbul, and even Santiago, massive crowds have rallied against Israel's military campaign. A joint statement from 9 countries, including France, Germany, and the UK, strongly condemned Israel's decision, warning it could worsen an already catastrophic humanitarian crisis, endanger hostages, and trigger further displacement. Meanwhile, over 20 nations, including key ceasefire mediators like Egypt and Qatar, called the planned offensive a dangerous and unacceptable escalation. As pressure mounts on Netanyahu, the stakes could not be higher. For the hostages, for Gaza's civilians, and for an entire region already on the edge of deeper conflict. Samia Afsar, NDTV World.
Now, we stay with the Middle East, where Al Jazeera has in fact claimed that 4 of its journalists have been killed in an Israeli strike near Gaza's city's Al-Shifa hospital. Now, according to the network, its correspondents Anas al-Sharif and Mohammed Qreiqeh and cameramen Ibrahim Zaher and Mohammed Noufal were in a tent for journalists at the hospital's main gate when it was in fact targeted. Israel's military, on the other hand, claims Al-Shifa had posed, Al-Sharif in fact has posed as a journalist and in fact was with Hamas, which Al-Sharif had in fact denied in the past as well. Over in Turkey, a powerful 6.1 magnitude earthquake has rocked the country's northwestern Balıkesir province, killing at least 1 person and injuring at least 29. This is what we know after getting in the prelim reports. Now, the quake struck near the town of Sindirgi, toppling 16 buildings and also damaging 2 mosque minarets. Rescue teams, meanwhile, rushed to the scene, pulling several people out of the rubble. Sadly, an elderly woman who was rescued alive later died from her injuries in the hospital. Meanwhile, tremors were felt as far as Istanbul, which happens to be nearly 200 kilometers away. Officials are urging residents to avoid damaged structures as strong aftershocks continue to shake the region. Meanwhile, President Erdogan has sent condolences, calling for national unity and prayers. Over in the Far East, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has welcomed a statement from European allies that insists the path to peace in Ukraine cannot be decided without Ukraine before a planned summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin on the 15th of August. Now, in a joint statement, leaders from the UK, France, Italy, Germany and Poland and even Finland, along with the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, stressed Kiev must be included in any peace talks with Russia whatsoever. The US and Russian presidents are preparing to meet in Alaska on Friday. A White House official was in fact quoted saying that Trump was open to the inclusion of Zelensky in the talks, but added that for now, the summit remains bilateral. And to shed more light on this, international affairs expert and director of analysis for geopolitical futures, Alison Federica, joins us live from Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for making the time out for us, Alison. First of all, I'd like to ask you, how likely is that Ukraine would be included in these talks? And what impact might Trump's territory swap claim have on Ukraine, but also on Europe?
So it's very unlikely that on these talks that take place on Friday the 15th are going to include Ukraine. Any settlement at this point in time that's going to be reached is going to be between the US and Russia, and then Ukraine will be brought in after some of the basic ideas have been agreed upon. Ukraine is not in a position right now where it can call the shots. As for territory, that is a problem for Ukraine because they have said repeatedly that they are not willing to give up any of the territory that Russia has gained occupation of during this conflict. And Russia has said clearly that it plans on keeping as much of that territory as possible. So with Ukraine and Russia, you clearly have a stalemate. Having the US intercede and step into this role is one way that maybe Russia and the US can kind of work around that, with, unfortunately, the phrase beggars can't be choosers applying to Ukraine in terms of can they continue this conflict without US support or strong European support? And the answer is they can't do that indefinitely.
Well, Ukraine's stuck between a rock and a hard place there. Thank you for your perspective on the evolving situation there, Federica. Now, we stay with the story, but where India has also, in fact, welcomed the proposed peace summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin in Alaska. Now, while backing efforts to end the war in Ukraine, New Delhi has, in fact, firmly defended its strategic autonomy, continuing oil imports from Russia while keeping diplomatic lines also open with Washington on the other hand. And amid the US claim that India's oil purchases were fueling resources for Russia's war against Ukraine, India has constantly and consistently, in fact, maintained its position that has been aimed at energy security and global stability. Land has pointed out lack of reason in the argument that India was fueling Russia's war machine. In fact, India's ambassador to the United States, Vinay Mohan Kwatra, said he had shared the Indian perspective with Senator Lindsey Graham, who had urged PM Modi to emphasize on President Putin to end the war in Ukraine. And the meeting is important. Why? As it could be a step towards a possible thaw in Indo-US ties, especially with trade ties which have been hit by tariffs after Donald Trump's criticism over India buying Russian oil. And the tug-of-war with Trump over US tariffs on Indian exports continues. And New Delhi has been firm in its message that it will not be bullied. In fact, PM Modi and Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, in their veiled messages, have reiterated that India cannot and will not be stopped. PM Modi, while speaking in Bengaluru, brushed off jibes by the opposition and even Donald Trump over the Indian economy and said that New Delhi is on the path to becoming the third largest global economy. And he also added that despite external pressure, India would not slow down. Rajnath Singh, on the other hand, countered Trump, saying India has emerged as a leading manufacturer in electronics and also the defense sector as well. He said efforts are also underway to ensure Indian products are too expensive to buy. He also said India cannot be stopped from becoming a global superpower. Listen in to what both leaders had to say.
साथियों, आज भारत दुनिया की फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग मेजर इकोनॉमी है। पिछले 11 इयर्स में हमारी इकोनॉमी 10वें नंबर से टॉप 5 में पहुंच गई। हम बहुत तेजी से टॉप 3 इकोनॉमी बनने की ओर आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। ये स्पीड हमें कैसे मिली है? ये स्पीड हमें रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म, ट्रांसफॉर्म की स्पिरिट से मिली है। ये स्पीड हमें साफ नीयत और ईमानदार प्रयासों से मिली है।
Now, even as Operation Sindoor continues, the navies of India and Pakistan are set to conduct separate naval drills in the Arabian Sea on the 11th and 12th of August. Now, these overlapping schedules points to heightened military activity in the strategically significant Arabian Sea, a key route for maritime trade and crucial also to regional security. Now, this development comes just months after a tense military standoff in May after the deadly terror attack in Pahalgam, which killed 26 innocent civilians. My colleague Shiv Arur joins us for the latest on this. Shiv, what's the latest you're picking up? And if you give our viewers a perspective on the size of the Indian Army compared to the Indian Navy compared to the Pakistani Navy here.
Osama, this is a naval drill. These are firing drills that are being conducted in the Arabian Sea. And the interesting aspect of it, like you rightly said, is that India and Pakistan are holding these drills not very far from each other, just about 60 nautical miles from each other, which is very close by naval standards, because in firing drills, missiles and guns are fired at ranges either close to that or even more than that sometimes. Now, of course, the firing areas and the ranges where this firing takes place are clearly demarcated. In fact, it may be difficult to believe that even in such circumstances, there is a sharing of information at a military level. But we must understand that Operation Sindoor is only under pause. It's still very much on, and therefore any small miscalculations or misunderstandings can lead to an escalation. But the Indian Navy, is well aware of what Pakistan's Navy is capable of and what these exercises really mean. So it is unlikely that anything will actually happen. But it is interesting to see that it is a sort of mutual muscle flex that is taking place in the Arabian Sea. Remember that the Indian Navy's role in Operation Sindoor was curtailed by the fact that a ceasefire finally happened. If that were not the case, then Karachi Harbour would have been in complete debris right now. And the Pakistan Navy and the Pakistan military establishment obviously knows that. The Pakistan Navy is much smaller than the Indian Navy. This is not to say that it is not a professional military force. It very much is, but it is much, much smaller. During Operation Sindoor, in fact, the Indian Navy managed to completely cage in the Pakistan Navy to harbour, to port. They were not able to do very much. They were not able to fly their aircraft over the ocean as well. So it is in that context that these operational drills very close to each other should be seen. It's muscle flexing, it's power projection, and that is the context.
As my colleague Shivaru rightly underlined there, muscle flexing and power projection in the Arabian Sea between the 11th and the 12th of August. Thank you so much for your inputs there, Shiv. And with that, it's time we step into a short break. News continues on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
Rajasthan is history, culture, and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture, and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years. Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power. What is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux. From conflict to India's crowning glory, I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
When facts are fragmented, we put the pieces together. Where power collides with truth, we are there.
Behind me is that massive security arrangements that are in place.
Behind fractured boundaries, we clear the fog of war. Fault Lines with Gauri Dwivedi, only on NDTV World.
You know, first, when Sayyara released and we as audience realized, oh my God, what is happening? You know, when did you realize it? Like, it's like, whoa, I didn't expect this, what is happening? Like that wave that hits you.
You know, the first thing that really hit me, I'm telling you, was a month back actually, to be honest, is when Adisa saw the film. And he saw a very loose cut and he decided the release date. But he was always, like me and Akshay were so into making the film, I think, along with Sumanna and all. Sometimes when you're so into it and you know, you don't realize, you don't see it from, and then he saw it from a third person perspective. I mean, he was always super confident about the film. And he had actually had this talk with me about how I've done, and yeah, we all grew up. I was in the 8th grade when I saw Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge and said I want to make a love story like this. For a person like him to say that, you know, you've made a great film. All he had asked for me was to make your best film for me. And I did, and I'm just glad that, so that was the first thing, you know, and that validation was great. I wasn't shouting over the roof for it. It gives you a lot of confidence at that moment, you know, for the person who's actually put his money where it is, and he wasn't talking about anything else, but on a very unassembled film at that time, could feel the emotion and be listening. But it was the first time we felt that we made something special. But yes, once the numbers came in, I think then it was Akshay.
The advance.
Yeah, and the advances came in, and then people were sending me messages, and all they said, no, don't listen to anyone. So I at one point just put my phone off and said, you know, this is getting too out of hand. And then in the night we got the number.
Welcome back. You're watching World 24/7. And news from the national capital, where Elon Musk's Tesla is all set to open its second showroom in New Delhi. Now, this follows the inaugural showroom of the brand in India that opened in Mumbai's BKC on the 15th of July. The latest dealership of the brand will be located at Worldmark in Aerocity. It's close to the New Delhi International Airport. Now, once it begins operations, the car maker will be able to serve consumers in Delhi and the National Capital Region as well. The EV giant has officially entered the world's third largest automobile market for perspective with the launch of its electric mid-size SUV, the Tesla Model Y, priced from nearly rupees 60 lakhs. INR. After making a humble beginning in the Indian space program with a tiny rocket supplied by the United States, ISRO would launch a massive 6,500 kilogram communication satellite built by the US in the next couple of months, the chairman of the space agency, V. Narayanan, said on Sunday. Now, following the historic launch of the NASA-ISRO synthetic aperture radar of the Nisar mission on board a GSLV F-16 rocket on July the 30th, ISRO would be launching another satellite for the United States. South Korea's military has shrunk by 20% in the past 6 years alone, largely due to a sharp decrease in the population of men and an enlistment age for mandatory service in the country, with the world's lowest birth rate. Now, this is according to a new report which has just come in. The sharp decline in the pool of men available for military service is also causing a shortfall in the number of officers and could also perhaps result in operational difficulties. India's Asiatic lion population rose from 674 in 2020 to 891 in 25. It's a jump of 32.2% according to the 16th lion population estimation report released on Sunday. The number of adult females has increased from 260 to 330. It's up by nearly 27%, boosting the species' ability to reproduce. Now, the 2025 count also includes new satellite populations in Gujarat's Barda Wildlife Sanctuary, Jetpur, Babra Jasdan, and nearby areas. In total, there are now 497 lions in satellite populations spread across 9 locations. And for the first time, mind you, 22 lions have also been recorded in corridor areas. It's time we slip into a short break. News continues here on NDTV on the other side. Don't you go anywhere.
Rajasthan is history, culture, and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture, and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years. Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power, what is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
When facts are fragmented, we put the pieces together. Where power collides with truth, we are there.
Behind me is that massive security arrangements that are in place.
Behind fractured boundaries, we clear the fog of war. Fault Lines with Gauri Dwivedi, only on NDTV World.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
From
interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
And you know, that's why it's being said that after Kahuna Pyare, this is the film that has got two superstar debutants who are becoming superstars. But what was this faith that you had on these two that you know that shows on screen?
You know, you don't plan to make a blockbuster. You plan to make a good film. And that's what I think they never let me, you know, they didn't put that pressure on me to live up to. They never gave me a number that we have to hit or a so-called figure that I have to open to. There was, all these trappings were just not there, which normally producers do end up putting that pressure. You know, then you make wrong things. Then you add a song for a shadi song, add a Punjabi song. All these trappings were not there in this film. They were like, just go there and make your film. Do this script. We love this script and make it honestly. And I think the minute that happened, a filmmaker I could just spread my wings and just go out, not worrying about a few. I think when you do that, you get a little more fearless, and then that's what got picked up by people. So I cast appropriate for the film. I didn't cast thinking. I cast what felt right.
You were saying that you are going to say no to him.
Yeah. But that's his fault. Huh? He was now you see, now that we can talk about the film, Krish Kapoor cannot be a timid, sweet boy.
Yes,
sir, how are you, sir?
Last time we spoke.
And I was like, what is this guy? He was a sweet boy. And then then by the end of the night, I could see the boisterous self, and I could see the Krish Kapoor who could stand on top and say, don't forget this name, it's Krish Kapoor. So I think I was looking for that a bit. I needed a spark of that.
Rajasthan is history, culture, and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture, and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years. Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power, what is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
When facts are fragmented, we put the pieces together. Where power collides with truth, we are there.
Behind me is that massive security arrangements that are in place.
Behind fractured boundaries, we clear the fog of war. Fault Lines with Gauri Dwivedi, only on NDTV World.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Very good morning. This is NDTV 24/7. You're watching The Breakfast Show. I'm Divya Wadhwa. We have a whole lot lined up for you, including no letter has been sent by the MP seeking permission for that march that's going to be taking place today. Do remember that the opposition is ready for that massive show of strength up against the Election Commission, planning that mega march, and that is going to be a 1 kilometer march. We're going to get you all the details of that. First, let's get you the headlines. The Parliament set for a massive voter theft showdown today as the opposition plans its mega march. The BJP challenging Rahul Gandhi to prove charges or to be apologizing to the nation. That is the ultimatum that's been given to Rahul Gandhi. In the voter chori face-off, we're talking about that has completely intensified further after the Maharashtra and Haryana election commissions have issued notices to Rahul Gandhi, giving him a 10-day ultimatum to prove his accusations. A flight that was taking off from Trivandrum for Delhi, an Air India flight carrying MPs, had to avert. This was a tragedy that was averted. They had to make emergency landing. It was a call that was taken by the pilot and the co-pilot at the Chennai airport. They needed to circle 2 hours at the Chennai airport before they could even land at the airport. Why? Because they weren't getting permission. India's top leadership takes on Donald Trump. It's, of course, top ministers there slamming that dead economy charge, that jibe by Donald Trump. And Delhi has, all set to open its second showroom of a Tesla. This is going to be opening in Aerocity here in Gurugram in the NCR region at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Let's get to your top story, and that's in regard to the voter theft face-off that has escalated. Asked to go for that parliament protest, the opposition still to get permission. That is what Delhi police has gone on to say, that there's been no letter that's been received by the police from the opposition seeking permission for this march as far as the Delhi police is concerned. Of course, when you hold a protest or a march, you need to take permission from the Delhi police, and that is something that the MPs haven't sought to do. Do remember that it's going to be Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi leading that march, and this is the police there saying no letter has been written by the MPs for permission, and the police has not given any permission for the march to take place. Leading the charge, of course, is Rahul Gandhi, who's made explosive claims when it comes to voter fraud, alleging that voter theft that is through duplicate entries using Form 6. Now we have my colleague Shreya joining us to get us the very latest on this. Shreya, permission hasn't been sought. What does this really mean? Where does this leave the opposition? We do know that march is about a 1 kilometer long march that's going to be taking place. If the police hasn't got that letter, how much time in advance do people need to inform the police in regard to holding such a march?
Well, today we are expecting 300 MPs, especially under the India bloc, will be marching from the Parliament to the Election Commission's office. But the Delhi police has not been informed about this march as of now. And the Congress office is telling us that they're ready to offer in their arrest. After leaving the Parliament, they will be heading towards EC. But on their way, if the Delhi police catches them, considering they have not taken official permission from the Delhi police, they're ready to offer in their arrest. Remember that this protest, the mission behind it is that the India bloc has been saying that the founding principle of one man, one vote, that very principle is under attack. On 7th August, we saw Rahul Gandhi conducting an explosive press conference saying that 1 lakh votes have been stolen from Karnataka's single constituency. And, independent checks have also revealed that there has been anomalies in the voter list. And so are these voter irregularities, just part of clerical errors, or are these part of a systematic flaw? This is a big question, and it is about the public trust of each and every voter. But we have seen that the Election Commission has dismissed these allegations and has time and again demanded Rahul Gandhi to prove these claims and has taken a very aggressive stance. The Election Commission has said that they cannot investigate these charges, citing a rule under which, the Congress party or Rahul Gandhi should have filed a complaint long time back because he's making allegations about the 2024.
Marikam Tagore there speaking with us on the phone line, Congress MP. Sir, of course, there is no permission that's been sought. That is a claim that's being made by the police. How is it that the opposition hasn't taken permission in this regard?
Good morning. It's going to be the 14th day where the Parliament is going to we are demanding in the Parliament that there should be a discussion on the vote theft as well as the SIR-related issues in Bihar. The government is not yielding for a discussion or LOP or any other opposition to speak in the Lok Sabha on this issue. Every day we hear lot of stories from the government, but the government is afraid to allow the opposition to speak on this thing. As our doors are getting closer, one by one, the government is closing our doors. We are left with very little option now, because tomorrow Parliament will be adjourned, and tomorrow is going to be the last day. And we are very clear that this is a very important issue, because the democratic process is at stake. The Election Commission and BJP are involved.